Are you ready to skyrocket your career in automation? Getting certified as a UiPath RPA Associate is the ultimate way to prove your skills in the world's leading RPA platform. But the exam can be tricky. In this video, we will cover UiPath Certified RPA Associate, UiRPA, exam prep, 30 practice questions and explanations. Kickstart your automation career with our comprehensive guide to the UiPath Certified RPA Associate, UiRPA, exam. In this video, we are breaking down 30 high-yield practice questions that cover the core pillars of the UiRPA exam, including Studio, Orchestrator, Variables, and Selectors. Make sure to grab a notepad, and let's see how many you can get right. Which of the following is a primary benefit of implementing RPA in a business process? Option A. It completely replaces the need for human decision-making in all processes. Option B. It increases operational costs by requiring complex coding for every task. Option C. It reduces human error and increases processing speed for repetitive tasks. Option D. It is only applicable to physical robots working in manufacturing. The correct answer is C. The core value proposition of Robotic Process Automation, RPA, lies in its ability to handle rule-based, repetitive tasks that are typically prone to human error when performed at scale. By automating these tasks, organizations can achieve higher accuracy, reducing errors, faster turnaround times, speed, and free up human employees to focus on higher-value cognitive tasks. RPA does not replace all human decision-making, as complex logic still requires human intervention. Human in the loop. In UiPath Studio, what is the purpose of the main XAML file? Option A. It stores the project configuration settings. Option B. It is the default entry point for the execution of a process. Option C. It acts as a backup file for deleted activities. Option D. It stores all the variables used across different projects. The correct answer is B. When you create a new process in UiPath Studio, the main XAML file is automatically generated. It serves as the primary workflow where execution begins unless specifically changed in the project settings. This file houses the sequence or flowchart that orchestrates the automation. While you can invoke other XAML files within main, the execution engine looks for this entry point to start the automation run. Which data type should be used to store a collection of unique values in UiPath? Option A, array. Option B, list. Option C, hash set. Option D, string. The correct answer is C. A hash set is a collection that contains only unique elements, unlike a list or an array, which can store duplicate values. A hash set automatically prevents duplicates. In UiPath, when dealing with data where uniqueness is critical, like a list of unique IDs, hash set is the most efficient .NET collection type to use. Lists and arrays are indexed and allow duplicates, while a string is just a sequence of characters. What is the difference between a full selector and a partial selector? Option A. Full selectors contain information about the top-level window. Partial selectors do not. Option B. Partial selectors are used only in basic recording. Option C. Full selectors are generated by attach browser activities. Option D. There is no functional difference between them. The correct answer is A. full selectors contain all the elements needed to identify a UI element, including the top-level window, the application or browser. They are typically used when activities are not placed inside a container like attach window or open browser. Partial selectors do not contain the top-level window information because they inherit that information from the container activity they are placed in. This makes partial selectors more efficient when performing multiple actions within the same application window. What is the function of a queue in UiPath Orchestrator? Option A. To store the source code of the automation process. Option B. To schedule the timing of when a robot starts. Option C. To store data items for processing and enable distribution across multiple robots. Option D. To monitor the CPU usage of the robot machine. The correct answer is C. Orchestrator queues are used to hold queue items, data, that need to be processed. They allow for large workloads to be broken down into individual units. This enables transactional processing where multiple robots can work on the same queue simultaneously, ensuring high throughput and better resource management. It also provides tracking for the status of each item. Successful, failed, retried. Which activity is used to iterate through each row of a data table? Option A, while. Option B, do while. Option C, for each row in data table. Option D, if. The correct answer is C. The for each row in data table activity is specifically designed for iterating through the data row collection of a data table, while a standard for each could be used with the correct type argument. For each row in data table provides a more user-friendly experience and built-in handling for row objects, making it the standard choice for data processing in UiPath Studio. What does the Publish button in UiPath Studio do? Option A. It sends the automation to the local recycle bin. Option B. It packages the project and sends it to Orchestrator or a local feed. Option C. It converts the workflow into a C# script. Option D. It runs the automation in debug mode. The correct answer is B. Publishing is the process of creating a NuGet package, NUPKG, from your UiPath project. This package contains all the files necessary for execution. By publishing, you make the process available to be deployed as a process in Orchestrator, which can then be assigned to robots for execution. You can publish to the Orchestrator tenant feed, a custom URL, or a local folder. In a try-catch block, which section is executed regardless of whether an exception occurred or not? Option A, try. Option B, catch. Option C, finally. Option D, throw. The correct answer is C. A try-catch block consists of 3 parts. 1. Try, the code that might throw an error. 2. Catch, the logic that runs if an error occurs in the try block. 3. Finally, the logic that runs at the very end, whether an error happened or not. This is typically used for cleanup activities, such as closing an application or logging out, to ensure the environment is left in a stable state regardless of success or failure. Which of these is a valid variable scope in UiPath Studio? Option A, activity scope. Option B, global scope. Option C, container sequence scope. Option D, machine scope. The correct answer is C. In UiPath, variables are bound by scope, which is determined by the container. Like a sequence or flowchart, they are defined in. A variable is accessible only within that container and its child activities. If you define a variable in the outermost sequence, it is available to all activities inside. There is no machine scope for variables. And global variables are usually handled via Orchestrator assets or specific global constants in newer Studio versions. But standard variables are container-based. What is an asset in UiPath Orchestrator? Option A. A physical robot machine. Option B. A shared variable or credential that can be used by multiple robots. Option C. The log file generated by a robot. Option D. A license for the UiPath Studio software. The correct answer is B. Assets in Orchestrator are shared variables or credentials, like usernames and passwords, that are stored centrally on the server. This allows developers to avoid hard-coding values in the workflow. Assets can be easily updated in Orchestrator without needing to change and republish the automation code. They are highly secure, especially credential-type assets which are encrypted. Which character is used as a wildcard to replace one or more characters in a selector attribute? Option A. Option B, hash. Option C. Option D, and. The correct answer is C. The asterisk. Asterisk is the wildcard used in selectors to represent 0 or more characters. It is extremely useful when dealing with dynamic attributes, such as window titles that change, e.g., Report 2023, Report 2024. You could use report asterisk to match both. The question mark is used to replace exactly one character. How do you extract a specific piece of text from a string using a pattern in UiPath? Option A. String, concat. Option B. Regular expressions, regex. Option C. Data table, select. Option D. Output data table. The correct answer is B. Regular expressions, regex, are the industry standard for pattern matching within strings. In UiPath, you can use the matches activity or is match to find or validate text based on complex patterns, like email formats, phone numbers, or invoice IDs. String, concat is for joining strings, and data table activities are for tabular data. Which panel in UiPath Studio allows you to manage activities and drag them into the workflow? Option A. Variables panel. Option B. Activities panel. Option C. Output panel. Option D. Project panel. The correct answer is B. The Activities panel is the toolbox of UiPath Studio. It lists all available activities, like click, type into, assign, that you can use to build your automation. You can search for activities here and drag them into your sequence or flowchart. The project panel shows file structure, and the output panel shows logs and errors during execution. What is the primary difference between a variable and an argument? Option A. Variables pass data between workflows. Arguments do not. Option B. Arguments pass data between workflows. Variables pass data within a single workflow. Option C. Variables can only store numbers. Arguments store text. Option D. There is no difference. They are interchangeable. The correct answer is B. Variables are used to store and pass data within a single XAML file. Workflow. Arguments are used to pass data between different XAML files. Arguments have directions in, out, which dictate whether data is entering the workflow, leaving it, or both. This modularity allows developers to build complex systems by connecting multiple smaller workflows. Which of these processes is most suitable for RPA? Option A. A process that is highly creative and requires subjective judgment. Option B. A process that changes its rules every day. Option C. A high-volume, rule-based process with digital inputs. Option D. A process that requires physical movement of hardware components. The correct answer is C. The sweet spot for RPA consists of 4 factors. High volume, tasks done many times. Rule-based, no gut feeling needed. Digital input, readable by a computer. And stability, the process doesn't change frequently. Creative or physically manual tasks are not suitable for software-based RPA. What is the purpose of the delay property in UI activities? Option A. To stop the robot permanently. Option B. To pause execution for a specified amount of time before or after the activity. Option C. To speed up the execution of the robot. Option D. To change the speed of the mouse cursor. The correct answer is B. Many UI activities have delay before and delay after properties. These are measured in milliseconds. They are used to give the application time to load or respond. For example, after clicking a Submit button, you might need a delay after of 2000 milliseconds. 2 seconds. To wait for a confirmation pop-up to appear before the next activity starts. To use Excel activities without having Microsoft Excel installed on the machine. Which activity should be used? Option A. Excel process scope. Option B. Workbook activities. System, file, workbook. Option C. Excel app integration. Option D. VBA macro. The correct answer is B. UiPath offers 2 ways to work with Excel. 1. Excel app integration. Requires Excel to be installed and runs it in the background, foreground. 2. Workbook activities. These work directly on the XLSX file level and do not require Microsoft Excel to be installed on the robot's machine. This is ideal for server environments where Office is not permitted. What is the result of the expression 10 greater than 5 and 5 greater than 10? Option A, true. Option B, false. Option C, error. Option D, 10. The correct answer is B. This is a Boolean logic question. 10 greater than 5 is true. 5 greater than 10 is false. Using the AND operator, both sides must be true for the entire expression to be true. Since one side is false, the result is false. Which component of the UiPath platform is responsible for monitoring and managing the robot fleet? Option A, UiPath Studio. Option B, UiPath Assistant. Option C, UiPath Orchestrator. Option D, UiPath Task Capture. The correct answer is C. Orchestrator is the central management platform. It allows users to deploy processes, schedule jobs, monitor robot health, manage queues, and store assets. Studio is for development, and Assistant is the local interface for a user to trigger bots on their own machine. Orchestrator provides the big picture control for the entire automation landscape. What happens if a selector becomes invalid because a UI element changed? Option A. The robot will automatically fix the selector. Option B. The robot will skip the activity and continue. Option C. The robot will throw a selector not found exception after the timeout period. Option D. The robot will restart the computer. The correct answer is C. If an activity, like click, cannot find the element described in its selector, it will wait for the duration specified in the timeout.ms property. Default is 30 seconds. If it still cannot find the element, it throws a runtime exception, usually a selector not found exception, which halts execution unless handled by a try-catch. What is the purpose of the output panel in UiPath Studio? Option A. To write the code for the robot. Option B. To display logs, execution start, end times, and errors. Option C. To manage project dependencies. Option D. To create new variables. The correct answer is B. The output panel is critical for debugging. It shows messages generated by the log message or write line activities. It also displays system-generated messages, such as when a robot starts, when it finishes, and detailed error messages, stack traces, if a process fails. Which variable type is best suited for a true-false condition? Option A. Integer. Option B. String. Option C. Boolean. Option D. Double. The correct answer is C. Boolean variables. System. Boolean. Can only hold two possible values, true or false. They are the primary data type used for decision making in if activities and flow decision nodes. How can you convert a string 100 to an integer in UiPath? Option A. ToString 100. Option B. Sint 100. Option C. Convert to integer 100. Option D. String to int 100. The correct answer is B. In VB.NET, the default language for UiPath, !sint, is a common function used to convert a value to an integer. Another valid way is !convert to int32, 100, Note that option C says to integer, which is not the correct method name in the convert class. It is to int32. What is the difference between an unattended robot and an attended robot? Option A. Unattended robots require a human to start them. Attended robots do not. Option B. Attended robots work on the same workstation as a human. Unattended robots run on remote servers without human intervention. Option C. Unattended robots can only work with Excel. Option D. There is no difference in licensing. The correct answer is B. Attended robots are designed to collaborate with humans. They are usually triggered by a person via UiPath Assistant to help with specific tasks on the user's desktop. Unattended robots are designed for high-volume back-office work. They run on separate machines, often virtual machines, and are triggered by schedules or events in Orchestrator without any human logging in. What does the assign activity do? Option A. It assigns a robot to a specific machine. Option B. It assigns a value to a variable or argument. Option C. It assigns a task to a human user in Orchestrator. Option D. It deletes a variable. The correct answer is B. The assign activity is one of the most frequently used activities. It allows you to set the value of a variable. On the left side, 2, you put the variable name. And on the right side, value, you put the data or expression you want to store in that variable. In a flowchart, which activity is used to branch the execution into two paths based on a condition? Option A, if activity. Option B, flow decision. Option C, flow switch. Option D, sequence. The correct answer is B. While both if and flow decision perform logic, flow decision is specific to flowchart workflows. It has one input and two outputs, true and false, providing a visual representation of the logic path. If is generally used within sequences. Flow switch is used when there are more than two paths. What is UI Explorer used for in UiPath? Option A. To browse the internet. Option B. To fine-tune and build reliable selectors by viewing the full UI tree. Option C. To manage files on the local computer. Option D. To download new activity packages. The correct answer is B. UI Explorer is an advanced tool within UiPath Studio used for custom selector creation. It allows you to see the entire tree of UI elements for an application, helping you find stable attributes, like ID or name, that might not have been captured by default, making your automation more robust against UI changes. What is a job in UiPath Orchestrator? Option A. A developer's employment contract. Option B. A single execution of a process on a robot. Option C. A folder containing scripts. Option D. The logs of a completed process. The correct answer is B. In Orchestrator terms, a process is the package you published, and a job is an instance of that process being executed. If you run the same invoice processing automation 5 times, you have one process but 5 separate jobs in the history. Which recording profile is best suited for automating desktop applications? Option A, web. Option B, basic. Option C, desktop. Option D, Citrix. The correct answer is C. The desktop recorder is optimized for multiple actions within desktop apps. It generates partial selectors and uses container activities like window scope. Basic generates full selectors for every activity, which is less efficient. Web is for browsers. And Citrix, image, is for virtual environments where UI elements aren't directly accessible. What is the default value of an uninitialized Boolean variable? Option A, null. Option B, true. Option C, false. Option D, 0. The correct answer is C. In the .NET framework, and thus UiPath, value types have default values. For a Boolean, the default is false. For an integer, it is 0. Reference types, like strings or objects, default to null, nothing. That wraps up our 30 practice questions for the UiPath Certified RPA Associate exam. How did you do? If you got more than 25 right, you're in great shape. Don't forget to like this video if it helped you, and subscribe for more RPA and automation career tips. For the full practice exam and in-depth training, check out the link in the description below.